Yeah, it's Friday. Oh yeah, it's time. It's time for everyone's favorite thing. Ooh, all the sports, all the University of Colorado sports, the highlights, the interviews, everything everyone wants to hear. Are you ready? Are you ready? Oh yeah, are you excited? I'm excited. News, highlights, interviews, we got it all. Oh, it's time. This is it. This is Sports Mag! Best in the world.
And we're back. Ta-da!
Hey!
Another season of Sports Mag is back, and it's going to be bigger and better than ever.
That's right, Joe. The 23rd season of Sports Mag is upon us, and CU Athletics has already begun their seasons as well.
CU football is off to a start, and because I vowed last October not to have an ice cream sandwich until the Buffs got another win, I'm also still without ice cream following the loss to Hawaii. And Hobbs, aside from my ice cream troubles, it's been a tough first week of the season.
Yeah, I don't want to talk about it anymore.
Well, then I guess I will. Colorado slipped and fell last Thursday, falling to Hawaii 28-20. USC transfer Max Wittek made his Rainbow Warrior debut, throwing for 202 yards and 3 touchdowns. The Buffaloes, who fell to 1-3 all-time in the state of Hawaii, did get a strong showing out of running back Michael Adkins II, who ran for 90 yards and 2 touchdowns. But perhaps the biggest story was the final play of the game, in which a slow change of play by the referees denied the Buffs one last shot at the end zone.
The Mountain West Conference released a statement over the weekend saying that the referees were not at fault for the debacle on the final play, leading Colorado to do some soul-searching ahead of their home opener. Head coach Mike McIntyre wasn't fazed by the controversy, though, instead focusing on his team's heart and will to win in his Tuesday press conference.
To have a chance. The one thing I will say, even the other night, and about the team last year, and I think that has carried over, they never, ever give up. And if you keep doing that, then eventually you're going to get those, and you're going to start winning those games.
The Colorado-Hawaii game was terrible, so let's move forward. UMass and Colorado will play Saturday to open the home schedule. And what does UMass have to do to play the Buffs closely?
Well, UMass has a fantastic quarterback in Blake Frohnapfel. The senior basically showed up out of the blue after he came from Marshall, where he backed up Rakeem Cato, who was the 2012 Conference USA Player of the Year. In 2015, he's on the Davey O'Brien Award watch list. He's on the Manning Award watch list, with both awards for the best quarterback in the country. Last year, he threw for over 3,400 yards. For a Colorado team that struggled last week against the pass, it's going to come down to the big guys in the defense and a redemption game for Ken Crawley, who he got smoked against Marcus Kemp.
He had a rough week. These guys need to step up big time against what is being considered one of the best, better passing attacks in the country. And I think for Colorado to get you going, I mean, you got to stay put. You got to get the touchdowns on the board. And, you had an all right second quarter, but, Colorado last week, they had a tough time. And you have a team against UMass that is pretty weak. Cefo's got to break through and get a touchdown. And, at the end of the day, Colorado just needs more points. That's just the way it goes.
Yep.
That's how football is. This is with more 4-inch wins. What's the word on the street this week? I don't know. I'm in here doing the show. But Christine Lampert is down at the University Memorial Center talking with Buff fans on campus. We'll throw it over to her now. Christine?
Hi, I'm Christine Lambert here at the UMC for CU Sports Mag. Today we're going to be interviewing some fellow Buffs about the upcoming home opener football game this Saturday.
How many CU football games have you been to?
I think only a couple last year. It's probably like 8 since I've been here.
Probably like 3 or 4. Zero.
This is my last year here, so I would like to go.
What school are you most excited to watch CU play this year?
Probably U of A, because my friends from U of A are coming out here for it.
Definitely UMass.
CSU, definitely. Rocky Mountain Showdown.
Do you have any rituals that you do before the game?
Not really.
No, not really. Mainly just there for the fun, but no superstition.
No, but I always wear black and gold. Always.
How do you feel about our game against Hawaii?
She told me. Yeah, I saw it on Yik Yak, and people were really upset about it. And I don't really know much about Hawaii's team, but people were saying that we were expected to win.
I wasn't too upset because I wasn't surprised. You know, we kind of lose all the time.
What is the University of Massachusetts mascot?
A minnow. I have no idea.
I don't know, like a wolf or something.
The Massachusetts Muskrats.
Okay, the Minutemen. That's all the time we have today for Man on the Street. I'm Christine Lambert with CU Sports Mag. Back to you guys.
Thanks, Christine. Hopefully the Buff fans make it to the game Saturday when they take on UMass at noon at Folsom Field. Should be a treat.
While there are some fans that are unsure of how good the 2015 Buffaloes are, a former CU football player is making us reminisce about the golden days. Former Colorado lineman Chris Naoli has been named as a finalist for the Polynesian Football Hall of Fame. Yeah, there is one. If inducted, Naoli will be the first CU player to make it into the Hall, which includes NFL legends Kevin Mawai and Junior Seau. The class will be announced on January 29th and 30th of 2016 in Oahu, Hawaii.
Let's get swifty, let's get tubular, folks. It's time to surf the wacky waves of the World Wide Web for this week's trivia extravaganza. The bodacious waves seem fair tonight, so let's give it your best shot. Here we go. What is the record for most points scored by the Buffs football team in a season opener? Want to find out what it is? Well, the truth is out there. You must stay tuned, and we'll reveal the answer later on in the show.
Do you know?
No, I actually don't know, so I'm going to have to keep watching this program.
I really don't. Coming up after the break, CU Cross Country was charged up in 2013, went back-to-back in 2014, and now they're looking for the three-peat. We've got the latest on the Buff season opener against Colorado State after the break.
And sports, the inside look at the new CU athletic facilities. I heard it can hold a 747 plane in them. Stay tuned to find out what all the hype is about. Back in 2 minutes.
They did an incredible job.
America's toughest drug enforcement agents. Last year, she helped convict 90 drug dealers, seize several tons of crack and marijuana, and close down 10 major drug operations. She is a 68-year-old grandmother named Irma. She set up a community drug watch that is not only changing her neighborhood, but its future. There are many ways to help in your community. Call the Points of Light Foundation. Do something good. Feel something real.
Lewis, explorers. Hey. Hi, I'm Thomas Jefferson. Would you check out the West for me? Oh, sure. And they take their keelboat up the Missouri. Oh, Buffalo. Then they built Fort Mandan. There at 1804. Made some friends along the way. I'm Sacagawea. Through the Columbia Gorge. Ah!
There are tons of ways to help with your kids' learning. Find the really good ones on connectforkids.org.
A sweet Pacific Ocean. Yeah!
I'm starving. What's for breakfast?
Guten Tag!
Johannes, Franz!
I bring you arts-enriched Raisinblums, fortified with increased test scores and creative problem-solving skills.
It's good!
And good for you.
Bobby? Susie?
Don't worry, that's just the power of the arts!
Feed your kids the arts. For 10 simple ways to learn how, visit americansforthearts.org.
What'd she say?
She said whatever.
No, she says that all the time.
What's that?
Hello? I'm on the phone.
Mom, I'm on the phone!
Hello? I'm on the phone.
Who's this? It's me. I'm on the phone. Mom.
Oh, you're on the phone.
All right.
Sorry.
Sorry. Anyway.
Who are you talking to? Kelly?
Mom.
All right.
You don't have to be perfect to be a perfect parent. There are thousands of teens in foster care who would love to put up with you.
In 2014, the University of Colorado embarked on a bold plan to bring the Buffalo's athletic facilities into the modern era. Now, in the final stages of production, the Champion Center is already ready to become a fixture of the Boulder community. And Sports Mag caught up with CU Athletic Director Rick George, who also gave us an inside look at the Buffalo's newest home.
Well, the final thoughts on the facility kind of entering the final stretch of its production?
It's going to be really good. I think it'll be one of the better facilities in the country, and it's going to allow us to achieve our long-term vision and our short-term mission, which is to create a world-class experience for our student athletes, operate in a fiscally responsible manner, and compete for and win championships. I think it's important that this facility fit and look like it's been here for 100 years or as long as this stadium's been here. And Populous, while they took our vision and they designed it, they did an incredible job. What makes it unique, one, is the layout and the logistics, and I credit Populous for that because it looks great. But it's also a connector and a collaborator with our community, which I think is important for CU. We've taken the whole second floor and we've leased that space out to the Boulder Community Health and the CU School of Medicine, and they're running a CU Sports Medicine and Performance facility that'll be open to the public. And then we've also created 3 spaces in these facilities that we can lease out on non-game days. So it'll allow us to generate revenue, to bring conferences, to bring business to this community. It allows us to collaborate with the city of Boulder and with this Front Range region.
Completion of the facilities is slated for spring 2016, but areas of the center, including the locker room and training areas, are already in use.
The CU men's golf team started off the fall season right, winning the Ballyneal Challenge tournament this Tuesday. The Buffaloes set a school record for 18 holes on a par 71 course, shooting a stunning 5-under par 563 score. Junior Jeremy Paul played in peak condition, coming off of a summer of amateur play. He also scored 12 birdies, 6 in each round, winning the whole shebang. The runner-up honors went to senior Philip Jewel Berg, who countered high initial scores with 8 birdies to get 1 under.
Entering the 2015 season, there were high expectations for the Buffs cross-country team. As the men enter a possible three-peat season, Coach Mark Wetmore claimed at Media Day fans will not be disappointed.
Better than a year ago when they got 7th. We return one of the top runners from 2 years ago who was out last year. This will be a team that can definitely challenge for the podium. And combined, the men and the women might be the best 2 teams we've had ever here. So I'm really excited about that.
When you win 2 straight national championships, like CU Cross Country has, you'll have enemies, a lot of people trying to drain you of your energy. But the Buffs just keep on rolling, dominating the CSU Invitational on the back of sophomore Zach Perrin, who placed top overall. CU also had 2 top male finishers in the top 5, and senior Maddie led the women with a 3rd place finish. Colorado continues their title defense with the Rocky Mountain Shootout on October 3rd. Bang, bang. So while football struggled last week against Hawaii, the CU men's golf and cross-country teams started off their season on the right foot. But like Guns N' Roses, we need to ask, where do we go now? Luckily, our analyst Alex Doyle is in studio to bring us up to speed on both teams and what their outlook will be this season.
Hey guys, and welcome to another edition of Buff Banner. I don't have much time, so let's get right into it. Our first question comes from Brian Richmond, who asks, do you think that the cross-country team can three-peat this year? Good question, Brian. Given the last 2 years' performances, I think that anything short of a national championship will be considered a disappointment to the team. The men came out of the preseason ranked 1st in the nation, and the women were ranked 4th. The men are returning 5 All-Americans this year and 7 letter winners from last season. The women's team, though young, definitely has some firepower. Sophomore Caitlin Benner and redshirt freshman Valerie Constein finished 1st and 2nd at the USA Junior Cross Country Championships and advanced to the World Championships. If that can't win a national championship, I don't know what can. Our second question comes from Christopher Watkins, who asks, what can we expect from the golf teams this year? Well, Chris, I think this year's teams are going to be good as well. We still have Esther Lee on the women's squad, who played very well all season last year and recently played in the U.S. Women's Amateur Championship. On the men's side, earlier this week, the team played in Holyoke, Colorado at the Ballyneal Golf Challenge and won the event with a combined score of 5 under 563. After the first 18 holes, the Buffs were trailing Wyoming by only 1 stroke and came from behind in the second and final round to beat Nebraska by 21 strokes and Wyoming by 22. In the second round, 3 players scored under par and helped carry the Buffs to victory. Good job, boys. Well, that's all the time I have for today, but keep asking questions and we'll get them answered in future shows. For CU Sports Mag, I'm Alex Doyle. Back to you guys at the desk.
For the fantastic work, Alex. Doyle certainly rules. Well, thank you. Yep. I need a quick nap, Joe, so I'm making a motion that we go to break. But after that, we go ahead and we reveal our Sports Mag Athlete of the Week.
I'm
Definitely
going
wasn't
to allow the nap. And one
definitely
of our
wasn't.
Sports Mag reporters tried their luck at volleyball with some special help from the women's team. Stay tuned to find out how much damage was done on the court. We'll be right back.
It's a great day, isn't it?
Yeah. Too bad your boat's gonna sink at 11:05.
Don't come closer. I have rabies. Don't you wish there were warnings to protect you from life's risks? With diabetes, there is one. It's called A1C, a simple blood test that helps measure your risk of serious complications. Learn more at diabetesaonc.org.
Hey, how's it going?
Sir, are you okay?
What? Oh, this? It's probably nothing. I'm sure it'll go away.
Go away? But, sir, that can't be good.
No, it's cool. Really.
Do you want a napkin or something?
Everything's fine. Thanks.
You wouldn't ignore this. So why ignore the signs of a stroke? At the first warning signs, call 911 immediately. Because time lost is brain lost.
The smallest moments can have the biggest impact on a child's life. Take time to be a dad today.
Good nutrition can lead to great things. Find out how a healthy lifestyle can help your child succeed.
Oh, that went a little long. Well, just in time for some recent news out of the Colorado men's basketball program today. Three-star guard Cameron Satterwhite has announced that he is decommitted from CU to entertain offers from other schools. After battling through knee surgery, Colorado head coach Tad Boyle told the high school senior to reclassify his status until 2017, but Satterwhite had other ideas. The Buffaloes entertained combo guard Bryce Peters and center Trevor Stombach today on official visits, looking to bolster their team after losing out on touted in-state recruit Deron Davis.
There are a lot of sports that go on each week at CU, and with that comes stellar performances from athletes across the board. Each week on Sports Mag, though, we recognize the one who stuck out as the best buff of them all with our Athlete of the Week award. Our first one was easy. Bree Hooks. The star of the CU women's soccer team sent home an overtime winner against Iowa State to continue her record-setting run. Keep it up, Bree. My money's on her for our Athlete of the Year in the spring.
Is it?
Oh, yeah.
Okay, good.
She's the best.
The University of Colorado women's soccer team extended their winning streak to 3 last weekend with a home sweep over Cincinnati and Iowa State. After a clean sheet against the Bearcats, sophomore forward Bree Hooks, who we just mentioned, propelled the Buffs to victory 2 days later on a penalty kick. Colorado holds a perfect 10-0 record against Iowa State when playing at home and are now 4-1-1 this season, which puts the Buffaloes in the running for top 5 best non-conference finishes in school history. Well, the Colorado Cup is young compared to other soccer tournaments around the country, but has already become the biggest piece of bragging rights in the state. This weekend, the women's soccer team will look to keep the trophy for another year as they take on the University of Denver. The Buffs have won their last 2 meetings against the Pioneers, but with DU looking for its first win of the season at their first home game, the match is bound to be competitive. Catch it at 7 p.m. Rocky time on Friday on Altitude Sports.
After back-to-back losses against Penn State and Illinois at the Big Ten Pac-12 Challenge last week, University of Colorado Volleyball is back in action this week at the Rice Adidas Invitational. Buffs will take on Sam Houston State later today in both the Louisiana Lafayette Raging Cajuns and the Rice University Owls on Saturday. Colorado comes into the weekend ranked 23rd in the nation and assumably needs to pick up 3 wins this weekend to stay in the top 25. The Buffs will return home next Friday to the Coors Event Center, where they play a doubleheader against Montana State and Weber State.
Well, the Raging Cajuns, what a name. Division I athletes, as you must know, are in a league of their own. And yet as fans, we sometimes forget how difficult it is to be doing the various feats that they accomplish on a daily basis. So I figured that we not only get a tutorial of something that the athletes do, but actually try to do it against some of CU's best. Ladies and gentlemen, first edition of Athletes First Reporters. Hi, Buff fans. This is Andrew Hobner inside the Coors Event Center, and I am here with CU Volleyball libero Sierra Simpson. And Sierra, this is going to be a special treat today because not only are we going to have you guys teach us how to dig, but you're also going to get to watch me somewhat try, most likely fail.
All right, sounds good.
You excited for it?
I'm excited. This
All
should
right.
be fun.
Let's get to it. So, Sierra, what are the motions, positioning? What special things about it can you teach us about trying to dig a spike?
All right, so when we're digging a spike, the first, most important thing that we need to remember is we need to be in our athletic stance. Okay, second part of digging is how we hold our hands. And I mean, obviously it kind of changes up, but the way that I do it is I stick this hand and that hand, thumbs together.
So this will be the final frontier for all of CU student media. I'm going to stand in front and go up against arguably CU's best outside hitter, Alexis Austin. So any final words of advice for me as I trudge into this very difficult scenario?
Put your helmet on.
Helmet on.
Put
All
your
right,
helmet on.
let's give it a shot. Woo. All right. It's pretty clear to see that it is absolutely not easy to be digging off of an outside hitter as good as Alexis Austin, or even digging as good as Sierra Simpson does on the Pac-12 level. So what goes through your head to prepare for moments like that in game where you've got maybe 2 points down and you have somebody who's just jumping up, really getting ready to spike it down?
I don't know. I would say in that moment it's kind of just like I'm about to take the wind out of this person's sails. Like, oh, they're coming up. They're thinking that they're gonna just like bang away on me, and I'm just gonna pop it up and make it look super easy.
So come by to support Sierra and the rest of the Buffaloes here in Coors Event Center. For Sierra Simpson, I'm Andrew Hobner, CU Sports Mag. That's why I'm here and not an athlete. While I couldn't dig, I do have the skill of changing clothes super quickly, in case you didn't notice. The experience was certainly humbling though, and we can't wait to challenge another sport. So tweet us at GBSM_sports to let us know who you'd like to see us go head-to-head with next.
Colorado men's hockey made their third coaching change in as many years this past summer with the hiring of Eric Ballard. Sound familiar? Probably. Ballard coached the Buffs 2 years ago before leaving the team for the Cheyenne Stampede of the Western States Hockey League, but Ballard is back, and he couldn't be more excited to be back in Boulder and says that he even intends to get his master's degree to get the full University of Colorado experience. The Buffs drew several Division I transfers over the summer and attracted top freshman prospects from junior leagues across the country. And with the amount of talent that showed at tryouts last week, Ballard is already saying this group is going to go far. But we got to step aside because we got to go look up that tubular trivia answer. We'll have that after the break.
Still don't know it. And the most smoking hot fast segment on television is back.
About to get hot in here, so stay tuned because Rapid Fire is up next.
About to run into trouble again.
Hey, Bobo, where's your video game? In here. Well, look at this. Uh-oh, it's my dad's. You want to hold it? What'll I do?
If you get my new comic activity book, More Adventures with Scruff, you'll find out what you can do about bullies and guns. And you'll see lots of games.
Cool.
For your free copy of my new comic activity book, just write Scruff McGruff, Chicago, Illinois, 60652, and help take a bite out of crime.
I want it. You know trouble can start when the clock hits 3. When there's no place after school for kids to be. Nothing to do but hanging on city streets. When mom and dad are working to make ends meet. Now it's time to beat the street.
With after-school programs, city kids aren't left alone and vulnerable. They keep on learning between 3 and 6, but these programs need your support. Join with the Urban League to keep them going. Call now, because it's
time to beat the street.
This house was almost saved from a fire that was almost put out by neighbors who almost volunteered. As generous a nation as we are, sometimes instead of giving, we almost give. But almost giving is the same as not giving at all.
Oh, those boys are much too much. Those boys are much too much.
We got the spirit. We're hot. We can't be stopped. We got the spirit. We're hot. We can't be stopped. We're going to beat them and bust them. Beat them.
The smallest moments can have the biggest impact on a child's life.
Let's get a little bit rowdy. R-O-W-D-Y.
Take time to be a dad
One more
today.
time. All those boys are much too much. Those boys.
While many CU teams are away from Boulder this weekend, that doesn't mean that you can't tune in to see the Buffs. Our very own Taylor Unger brings you the fastest segment that college sports television has to offer, Rapid Fire.
Hey Buffs fans, you're watching Rapid Fire on CU Sports Mag. Here are the 4 hottest events of the weekend. The CU football team hosts their home opener on Saturday at 12 p.m. on Folsom Field. Come out and support your fellow Buffs while they take on Massachusetts. One of the key matchups in the game will be between star wide receiver Nelson Spruce and cornerback Randall Jett. Also on Saturday, the women's volleyball team is traveling to Houston, Texas for the Rice Invitational. The Buffs lost 3-0 against Illinois last week. We need to focus on more digs and blocks. CU will need a big game from Sierra Simpson. The game will be on at 6 p.m. and is the first of 3 that they will play over the weekend. The Buffs soccer team plays at 1 p.m. against Northwestern on their home turf. The girls have won the last 3 games, so come out to make it a 4-game winning streak on Prentup Field. The women's golf team will be finishing up the weekend of CU Sports. The squad will be headed to Minneapolis, Minnesota for the Minnesota Invitational. Keep an eye out for sophomore Esther Lee, who is CU's average stroke leader. The event is on Monday. Good luck to all of our Buff athletes. I'm Taylor Unger with CU Sports Mag. Back to you guys.
Everybody get swifty. It's time for this week's trivia answer. Excuse me, I had a song stuck in my throat. We asked you, the fans, what is the most points that Colorado has ever scored in a football season opener? The answer? 61. That's pretty swifty. Back in 1954, the Buffs laid the smackdown on Drake University 61-0. My goodness, that was lopsided. Tune in next Friday for another chance to solve our weekly Buffs trivia question. Stay swifty.
I don't know what that means. The upcoming game against the University of Massachusetts will be game number 1,200 for our Buffaloes. So in order to celebrate, they will be wearing their traditional uniforms. The Buffs game gives us a sneak peek of the uniforms, tweeting that the Buffs will don their traditional uniform combination for UMass. It's the 1,200th game in CU history. Hashtag Go Buffs. Well, I'm excited about that. How about you? While we do joke a lot here on Sports Mag, 14 years ago, a national tragedy occurred in downtown New York City, Washington, D.C., and Shanksville, Pennsylvania, that shook the United States to its core.
We at Sports Mag will never forget the sacrifices of the first responders and the people whose lives were needlessly taken that morning. We'd like to take a moment to remember those who sacrificed their lives defending our nation, and our thoughts and prayers are always with you.